Hello, welcome to Clover Hill.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
Take a seat and I'll start and introduce you to our new multi-vintage philosophy. As you're probably aware, Clover Hill historically is focused on making vintage wine, so this is a complete shift in our approach to traditional method sparkling wine.
So tell me, what is a multi-vintage philosophy?
So for Clover Hill, multi-vintage means reserve wines made up of the three most recent vintages held in 4 different formats. So a component of pre-blended reserve wine held in large format oak and barriques, also a component held in stainless steel under pressure and in bottle under pressure. Those 4 components bring freshness and vibrancy from the components in stainless steel and bottle, and complexity and texture from the components in oak.
So will you make vintage wines again, now that you've shifted to this multi-vintage philosophy?
We don't have plans to in the foreseeable future, primarily because we believe that the consistency and vibrancy that we achieve from this multi-vintage approach is a significant improvement on the potential variations that you get from making vintage wine.
And how has the market responded to this?
Fantastically. I mean, ultimately, the proof is in the drinking. So we can talk the philosophy and all this sort of technical information about how we're doing it and why we're doing it, but the wine itself has got to be good, which is ultimately the purpose. So hopefully what you should see are the hallmarks of good cool climate Chardonnay and Clover Hill house style, that really bright, vibrant, citrusy green apple.
It's really beautiful. Tell me, what does it land for?
$32.25.
So what was the driver to shift to a multi-vintage approach?
We started looking at the catalogue museum of Clover Hill wines back from 1991. Growing wine grapes in Tasmania is difficult, in this region even more so. There is intrinsic variation in growing conditions every year, and that translates into variation in individual wines that we make. So to begin with, we said, okay, what is Clover Hill house style? And that is bright, vibrant, aperitif style wines. So then how do we achieve a consistent, vibrant, fresh wine every year? That evolved into the approach of holding reserve wines to create multi-vintage wine with consistency.
So what's in the range?
So current wines that are released are multi-vintage Exceptionnelle and multi-vintage Rosé, which you've got in front of you. Soon the rest of the portfolio will transition to multi-vintage with wholesalers' new price book. That'll include Blanc de Blanc multi-vintage, Rosé d'assemblage multi-vintage, and Dégorgement tardif multi-vintage. The current 2 land for $32.25, Blanc de Blanc and Rosé d'assemblage $51.86, and the Dégorgement tardif $88.15.
So Ian, tell me, what are the main consumer benefits to this multi-vintage wine?
Multi-award winning traditional method sparkling producer with 30 years worth of history in the Tasmanian market, a wine that is consistent, bright, vibrant, aperitif style and outstanding value for money.